Welcome, everybody. Thank you for being here this evening. We are so excited to see all of you. So glad that you're here. This is a regular city council meeting. Unlike a workshop, there's formal rules and requirements. So while you're in the audience, please remain quiet while council is talking. There are 2 times that you can speak. That's during the public comments. You'll have 3 minutes. Council can't respond to you. And also, there are no public hearings. So that's it. Council may have you come up and speak if there's an item of interest to you. Just raise your hand and if it's appropriate, I'll have you come on up. So with that being said, I call the meeting to order. Please stand for the pledges. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Honor the Texas flag. I pledge allegiance to thee, Texas, one state, under God, one and indivisible. Please be seated. All right, so our city secretary and interim city manager is playing 3 roles this evening. He's city secretary, city manager, and technology director. So, city secretary, all of us are present this evening. We have a quorum. Proof of notice of meeting, please.
Thank you, Mayor. Notice of this meeting was posted on August 27th by 2 p.m.
Great, thank you. City secretary, are there any public comments?
So there are not.
And there are no public hearings. There are no presentations and recognitions. There are no proclamations. City secretary, 1 minute for each council member, including myself, on the next item. So mayor announcements, I wanted to mention that there's a library fundraiser at Spicewood this Friday, 11 to 3 and 4:30 to 9, and 50% of the proceeds of lunch and dinner specials will go to the library. Okay, September 18th through 20th, we have trappings at the Museum of the Big Ben. September 25th and 27th, we have the Sul Ross State University Rodeo. And then October 3rd and October 4th, we have the Big Bend Bluegrass Festival that will be here. I also want to give special kudos to Rick Stevens, Tony Curry, and Juan DeGeo. The Sunshine House this weekend had a gas leak. And whenever there's a gas leak, they're going to have to turn off your gas until they can figure out what appliances are causing the gas leak. You cannot have the gas partially on and you know, the hot water heater can't be on while there's a gas leak, because if that gas diffuses to the flame, then it'll set fire. So they were in a panic because they didn't have any way to prepare meals for their clients if they didn't get their appliances taken care of. So Councilmember Stevens and Tony Curry and Juan DeGallo worked diligently and hard over the holiday weekend to make sure the appliances were repaired, the gas leak was fixed, and today they were able to serve hot meals to their clients. So thank you. Thank you. All right, so Councilmember Stevens, 1 minute.
Hey, thanks, Mayor. And I want to also thank Gio and Randy because they responded to the calls to go get that work. So it worked out very well. Thanks for all the notes in terms of what's going on. I want to add one other event, and that's next Monday night at Jackson Field at 8 o'clock. And that's going to be a showing of the movie coming out, The Senior, about the 59-year-old individual who got thrown out of Sul Ross in his senior year, still maintaining 1 year eligibility, came back and played football in his senior year. It's going to be a terrific movie.
He was like 59 years old.
59 years old, yeah. So I can't imagine being out playing football at 59 years old amongst all the freshmen. But the old man survived, did well. Anyway, we're going to do a screening at Jackson Field on Monday night. So come on out, take a look.
Cool.
Thanks.
Thank
That's all we got.
Okay. Councilmember Escobedo.
I just wanted to let everybody know that this month is Suicide Awareness Month. And there's also Chronic Pain Awareness Month.
Okay, no worries. Okay, Councilmember Ruckus. Councilmember Martinez. Councilmember Portillo.
No, ma'am.
All right, so that is it for community interest items. Moving on to changes to posted agenda. Council, are there any items to be continued or withdrawn? Seeing none, are there any items, council, to be removed from the consent agenda for separate discussion? Seeing none, are there any action items to be added to consent agenda? Okay, seeing none. Council, are there any time-sensitive items? Okay, seeing none, we're moving on. There were no time-sensitive items. City Secretary, consent agenda, please.
Thank you, Mayor. Tonight's consent agenda contains two items. Item A, approval of the August 19, 2025 regular meeting minutes. And item B, approval of hangar rental lease increase of 1 cent per square foot ground lease increase at the Alpine Casper Smith Square.
Okay, I need a motion.
Consent agenda.
I need a second.
Second.
Let's vote.
Aye.
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 City Secretary, Council approve the consent agenda as written unanimously.
Thank you.
Okay, there were no items to be removed. Reports and presentations. Okay, so we have presentation by the Big Bend Regional Hospital District staff regarding program and service offerings. We are excited to hear all about it. So ladies, come on up. You'll have 6 minutes.
Hi,
Hi.
good evening, everyone. I'm Mario Diaz. I am the Director of Client Services for Big Bend Health, Big Bend Regional Hospital District. I am in the Presidio office, but we do cover Brewster and Presidio County, and she is Noemi.
Good afternoon. My name is Noemi Aguilar. I'm the patient advocate for the Alpine office.
Nice to meet y'all.
She-
Yes, absolutely.
Okay, so Big Bend Health is committed helping clients on getting on the right track to better health. We can also provide resources and assist with the application process and other programs available. Client screening to see what other available programs they can benefit from and help with the enrollment process. We process claims received in a timely manner so that your medical visit is paid. These are some of the requirements, so you must not qualify for Medicaid. You must live in Presidio, Brewster County, be 18 years and over. And then we cover medical benefits coverages, physician services, basic dental coverage, basic vision, authorized specialist referrals, medically necessary visits, durable medical equipment, medical appointment transportation, and it is $30,000 maximum annual fiscal benefit from October to September. Program enrollment every 6 months in medications.
And council, you also have a presentation in your packets.
We also cover emergency visits in EMS. We do ask our clients, that the ER visits should be limited to life-threatening, simply because we don't want them to use their whole, benefit amounts in going to the ER when it could easily be prevented, or we could, schedule them for their to see their PCP. We cover also immunizations, the Texas Department of State Health Services, they could provide, a lot of the immunizations. For the dental coverage, we cover annual exam, x-rays and cleanings, fillings. Some fillings may not be covered within the program. Extractions, perianal scalings, not covered. We don't cover any braces, and things of that nature.
Anything considered cosmetic, we don't cover.
Right, okay.
We do vision coverage, eye examinations. If the client happen to be diabetic, we do cover on an annual basis. Other procedures required can be covered with the referral, and pre-authorization.
And our vision specialist that we work with is Forex.
Okay.
That rules here in Alpine.
We also work with tracks, so we cover their transportation. And then we also have another program that's called the Prescription and RX Grant that is aside from our medical health coverage. So that would be, what we cover is 3 prescriptions monthly, $5 copay, 30-day supply, generic medications only, and things like that. We do the DME, we cover standard canes, crutches, wheelchairs, walkers, blood pressure monitors, oxygen supplies.
And we also have the RX grant, which is in your presentation. RX grant is for anyone in the community, in the Presidio Brewster community. They don't have to be enrolled in our county indigent program. It's for anyone that needs assistance with like insulins, Entresto, very expensive heart medications. The poverty level for that program is 400, so a lot of people can qualify. We've had people even with private insurance with Medicare qualify for that extra help with medication. So it's not just for our medical program residents, it's for anyone that needs it for expensive medications. Any questions or clarifications that we can provide?
So are you guys helping to support the TRAX program?
So we pay for track transportation, we don't support it, we have, if they ask us for assistance in, let's say, equipment or whatnot, you know, that's just like the grants. But we pay our clients to be taken to any medically necessary equipment through tracks.
And where is your office located?
So the office in Alpine is,
105 West Holland.
Okay,
and in
Yes, ma'am.
Presidio, it's 602 West, right in front of the city of Presidio.
okay, and then y'all are still gonna tell us about eligibility or?
So the eligibility is, like she mentioned, be 18 and over, not qualify for Medicaid or be categorically eligible for Medicaid, meaning a denial, not because you didn't turn in documents, no, like not being able to meet any requirements for Medicaid. Also, if they have private insurance or resource and income limit. The good thing about our county energy program, being hospital district, that we've raised our poverty level. So let's say, most hospital district programs are 21% poverty level. It's like almost impossible to qualify. We raised ours to 150%. So you could probably make, let's say, a household of one, maybe like $1,800 a month
Uh-huh,
and qualify for a program. The resource is 4,500 for anyone 60 and under. If you have someone with a disability in your home or 60 and over, then it bumps up to 6,800 on the resource, being like vehicle, bank account balance, whatnot. And we also do give a credit of $15,000 for the first vehicle in the household.
okay.
So
Great.
we want people to utilize the program. Unfortunately, till this day, there's a lot of people that don't really understand our program
Right.
or are hesitant to go apply.
Right,
But I mean, we help them with the application process, gathering documents, and if not with our resource, with any other extra resource we can. So we ask the community, you know, to let everyone know about our program. Go and grab an application, call us if there's something, you know, that you're doubtful about or whatnot, but we really want the community to utilize the program, and it's a wonderful program. We pay the medical visits 100%, so
okay. Hey, Councilmember Stevens?
So about how many people in the program on an annual basis?
so right now, enrolled,
Ladies.
eligible, we have about, I wanna say maybe like
Ladies?
140, 145.
Okay.
So, I mean, we would like to double that. We could.
Yeah, because that's relatively small population for Presidio and Brewster counties.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir, it is.
Wow.
And I do wanna point out that we have not lost clients, but they have transitioned to Medicare, which we help them transition to. So that's a good thing. But we would like more clients to enroll.
Okay.
We have had more men enroll, which is a good thing, because now we're like 50-50 women and men, which is wonderful. We would like the age group to enroll maybe from 25 to 35, 40, when their kids are small, that they need to be taken care of as well, you know, taking care of their health, having the checkups. But any age, of course, but we would like to target, you know, just anyone that needs a checkup when they have their kids in school and whatnot, and a lot of times the kids have Medicaid, but they don't qualify, so.
And we also do a lot of outreach, you know, I'm at a marathon once a month. I'm in Marfa once a month as well, you know, unless it's required for me to go more often, then I do go out there and do a lot of outreach.
Councilmember Escobedo?
No, I know them very well. They do a very good job.
Thank
Thank you so much.
Good. Councilmember Lucas?
No, thank you both.
Councilmember Martinez?
How do you promote these so people can know that you have the service that available?
Outreach, ma'am, I try to leave the office as much as possible unless I'm doing renewals. We do renewals every 6 months. And other than that, you know, I go out for lunch, I take flyers with me, I take my business cards, I drop them off, I carry a conversation with somebody that's behind me, you know, so.
Where do you put the flyers on businesses or offices or?
It depends. A lot of
Ladies,
places, they don't
Let me
allow
remind
for
you to
us to
stay
leave
quiet,
flyers.
please.
So we have them at the library. We have a different places. Yes, ma'am.
And any idea, any suggestion, I mean, we welcome it, I know it's different, our counties are different, like I'm in Presidio and we use a lot, we utilize the Mexican radio station a lot, because
Yeah.
that's like what they use, a lot of them don't use Facebook. I know Alpine is a lot of, you know,
Social media.
and whatnot, but I mean, we, for some reason, are still missing a lot of people that need to know about the program.
We recently did a back to school bash in Marfa. That was a pretty great outcome out of. We had 14 people enrolled. Not all of them did qualify, but some of them, you know, are gonna be in our program, and other ones, you know, we're able to get some information and pass it on along. So
Have you advertised on the Alpine radio?
I believe so, ma'am. I just don't know how often the ad comes out, but yes, ma'am.
Have you spoken to Commissioner's Court?
And I do wanna point out that Noemi is fairly new with us here in
Okay,
Alpine, and
okay.
she is doing like, you know, this is
Yeah.
the first time. I've been with the hospital district 7 years, and this is the first presentation that we do for the
Yes,
city of Alpine, so.
thank you.
Thank you.
Councilmember Portillo,
No, ma'am. Thank you.
Thank you.
anything
These are
else,
little
council?
Gift bags for y'all if I could.
Thank you. I would like to get some flyers so I can give away.
Okay.
You have
I
it.
I could get you some flyers, ma'am. I don't have any extra with me right now,
Okay.
but I will get with you and
I don't know if they get any questions.
It's.
and thank you all very much for having us.
No, thank you for
Thank
coming.
you so
Come
much.
more often.
Thank you.
Thank you, ladies. Thank you so much. All right. Okay, great presentation. All right, moving on to information and discussion items. Item A, if you'd please read it and begin the discussion, Councilmember Portillo.
Thank you, Mayor. Discuss possibility of updating city ordinances to allow golf carts and other recreational vehicles to operate on city streets. So, did do a little proposal which Geo sent out to y'all.
Yes.
Would it be all right for me to go ahead and read it and
Sure.
so everybody? Okay, the introduction and purpose will Alpine Tech is a vibrant, close-knit community with a strong sense of small town charm and neighborly connection. Allowing golf carts for local transportation would encourage a slower, safer pace of travel, reduce traffic congestion, provide an eco-friendly option for residents and visitors alike. Our proposal is to officially designate Alpine as a golf cart friendly community and to pass a local ordinance under the authority of Texas Transportation Code, Chapter 551. Benefits will tourism boost. Visitors will enjoy exploring our scenic streets and local businesses in an accessible, fun way. Environmental impact, reduced emissions compared to standard vehicles. Community connections, slower travel means more interaction between neighbors. Economic support, increased traffic to small businesses as residents and tourists can park easily and make short trips. Accessibility, golf carts can provide easier mobility for seniors and those with limited walking ability. Legal basis under the Texas Transportation Code 551.403, municipalities may authorize the operation of golf carts on roads with speed limits of 35 miles an hour or less, provided certain safety requirements are met. The ordinance would allow Alpine to set its own rules for safe operation hours and permitted routes. So proposed regulations for Alpine, permitted roads within city limits with posted speed limits of 35 miles an hour or less, crossing of higher speed roads only at designated intersections. Equipment requirement, headlights, taillights, reflectors, rearview mirror, slow moving vehicle emblem, horn, or audible warning device. Driver requirements, minimum driver age, 16 years with valid driver's license, proof of insurance required. Registration, annual city registration fee, suggestion $25 to $40. City issued permit sticker displayed on the cart. Hours of operation, sunrise, to sunset, unless equipped with working headlights and taillights. Addressing safety concerns, education campaign for residents on rules of the road, signage at key intersections to alert drivers to golf cart traffic, enforcement by local law enforcement to ensure compliance. On the community support, we believe Alpine is ready for this change. Golf cart use is growing in Texas cities. Fort Stockton's adopted this, Andrews, Port Aransas, proven success in safety and tourism impact. This ordinance would bring economic, social, environmental benefits to our community while preserving our small town charm. And I would also like to bring up Chief
Chief?
Lasoya. Him
Come on,
and I have been
Chief.
kind of working side by side, talking about all this. And he'll be able to tell you a little more what we've been talking about.
Who are you?
Good evening. So when Mr. Portillo approached me on it, I think it's a great idea. Yeah. I think there's some things that I would like to make sure that we do follow. One being an application, make sure that first of all, that the golf carts are able to be driven and that they make sure they meet specific requirements. And one that I pulled up that I really like their ordinance was Roanoke PD. And they do a whole vehicle inspection. I can leave that to my golf guys at the police department to take care of that. And they also have a good ordinance allowing the golf cart to be only in specific areas. I think in some areas you'll see it more often. And I think the most important part is you can have it in residential areas. Say you want to go to your grandma's house on the other side of Gallego Street, and that gives you an opportunity to use that golf cart. And then just making sure that also the driver's requirements, insurance are along with it as well. So I think it's a good idea. Not necessary for the main streets, the Holland Avenue E and Fifth Street, but I think taking the back roads would be a good idea. So,
Yeah, the one ways, especially with all the
right.
tourist traffic and
Yeah.
stuff like that.
Yeah.
Okay, Councilmember Martinez?
Yeah, that was my question. How do you control what streets they will be able, because teenagers. just-
So we can make a designated routes for the golf carts. I think it'd be easy to do. So again, making sure that they avoid the main highways and stay in those areas where it's designated.
Because I know in Port Aransas is a big hit.
Yeah.
Everybody's driving those.
Well,
golf
you know,
carts.
the thing that I noticed, Roanoke PD, Westlake and Trophy Club. Those are three towns that are all close together, and they basically have that on their ordinance that you can, if you take that golf cart, you can also use it in those other cities as well. And so I thought that was a neat idea.
That's nice.
So they all work together to get, they have different specifics on how to enforce it, but for the most part, it's the same.
That would be personal or it can be commercial, that somebody's renting golf carts now.
It'll happen. I guarantee you if something like that happens, it's just another way somebody can earn a buck, provide you safe sources for people to be driving. Again, they're under the same rules of the road as regular vehicles. So you can't go around drinking while you're on the golf cart on main streets. If you go on the golf cart, on the golf course, then you can drink on their property, on their private property. But once you put that on the road, it's a regular vehicle and it goes to the same regulations as personal cars.
So this would be more for residents than
Sure.
there are tourists, because tourists would want to be on Main Street, I would think, going to the businesses. Is that
Well,
what you
the
think?
one thing you can also designate is that, say if they're on if they park them over at the courthouse and hit the shops in that downtown area, or park it over at the supermarket. And just as long as they can cross the roads, they
Right.
just can't stay on the roads.
Right.
Yes, ma'am.
Councilmember Lucas,
Game with it. It sounds like a good idea.
Councilmember Escobedo?
Oh, I like that idea.
Mhm. Councilmember Stevens?
So that's a great idea. So it says golf carts, I presume, recreational vehicles like a Polaris. as
Correction,
well.
I'm correct, side by sides and
Yeah.
things like that, you don't want those on the road.
So you do not want the Polaris and,
But yeah, no Polaris, no side by sides, no,
So why no Polaris? It's like a golf cart. I'm talking about a four-wheel, lights, the whole 9 yards.
well, I guess so, I guess if it.
Well, that's what my headset is. I mean,
Right.
so going to get gas, I've got one, I drive on my property, I can't go get gas right now. And so just like a
Mhm.
golf cart, I think. well,
I guess if it follows the same,
safety standards?
yeah, see,
Yeah, but same standards, yeah, okay, that's why, that was my only question, golf carts and recreational.
and you know, that's one of the things. Most of the golf carts I've seen, they're electric, so, having an exhaust system would be one of the things.
Yep.
And, review mirrors, passenger side mirrors.
Yep, seatbelts,
Yes, sir.
gotta have seatbelts?
Only if there's children in it at under the age of 6 years old.
Okay, good. No, I think it's a good idea.
Okay, any other discussion?
Thanks for reminding me.
So what would be the next step, action item or?
I can bring up some more ordinances. I've pulled up 3 so far. I just pulled up New Braunfels. New Braunfels has a good ordinance as well. And so I think using those, comparing them to what we want, our necessities, following a diagram on what streets to make sure that they stay off of.
All right,
I think that's pretty important part of it.
okay, so you're gonna continue it?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah.
All right,
It's up to y'all.
Will add
all right, okay, sounds great,
your vehicle.
yeah.
Good, yeah.
All right,
Thank you, Chief.
thank you,
Thank
thank
you.
you, thank you,
Thank
Chief.
you, Rich.
Yes, sir.
Thank you.
All right, moving on to the next discussion item. Before we do that, I wanted to mention that the presentation by the Big Bend Regional Hospital District, they gave council a PowerPoint. If you want to access that, just go to the city website and look at the council members packet. You can type that in the search bar and it'll pull it up so that you have that information. All right, so moving on to discussion item B, discuss the proposed partnership between the city of Alpine and Alpine Independent School District for collaborative use and maintenance of the Manuel Payne Field located at Kirkendall Park. All right, so Gio and I just recently met with Dr. Reinhardt and she proposed some ideas on how to make use of the field and how to improve it. And she's here to discuss with us this evening.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Mayor, may I hand out a one pager?
Yes. We also have Louisa Payne here this evening. And if she wants to make comments in regards to that, you'll be able to do so. Oh, there we go.
Well, thank y'all for your time. So Alpine ISD is interested in partnering with the city of Alpine to make some pretty significant improvements to Manuel Payne Field, which is a softball field, also used for some little league baseball as well, as part of Coconut Park. And so I wanted to share with y'all kind of at a high level what we're proposing and what we would love to flesh out further in partnership with the city. So our goals here are twofold. Part is to improve our youth recreation facilities here in Alpine, specifically the softball field, and also to facilitate the return of our Alpine Middle School and Alpine High School softball teams to using Manuel Payne Field as a home field, which had happened previously, but it's not been the case in recent years. We really see this as an opportunity to invest both the city and the school district in much needed improvements to our community youth athletic facilities. One of our other long-term goals is to be able to host future youth softball tournaments, both for kinder through 6th grade, but then also for maybe middle school and high school as well. And we see that as a way to increase overnight visitors to the area that could tie into HOT grant funding, et cetera. And then really to leverage community organization partnerships and multiple funding sources to maximize impact. So a couple things I wanted to share with y'all as we're kind of getting started. Share with you what we're not looking to do. So the district is not looking to try to purchase Manuel Payne Field or try to get into any kind of ownership transfer with the city. We'd rather be in partnership with y'all and potentially look at either an MOU or an interlocal agreement about how we could use the field and how we could invest in the field alongside the city as well. Also, we're not looking to try to take over the field to the detriment of the Big Bend Amateur Softball Association. I know Rush Carter's here from the Softball Association. We were talking by phone earlier. He may have some comments to share later as well. We really see this as a way that we can improve the facilities, both for our middle school and high school teams and for our youth programs as well. And I'm confident that we can work out practice schedules, game schedules, et cetera, versus between the various organizations. I serve on the board of the Alpine Junior Bucks League, which coordinates 1st through 6th grade volleyball, flag football, cheerleading, and basketball, all of which use both Alpine ISD facilities. And so we coordinate those kind of things quite regularly. A little bit about what we would be looking to do. And again, you'll see this is high level. This is not, I have quotes for you or anything like that. This is just what we're looking to do. 3 kind of areas or 3 buckets of areas that we see that would need improvement that we would love to tackle together. First is the playing surface. So outfield conditions, we're talking about those pesky gophers and how we really deal with that issue so that we can have a level surface out there and a safe surface for all of our players. Also some pretty substantial infield dirt work needed there as well. When we think about infrastructure, we'd be looking at replacing the scoreboard. My understanding is that it's not operational and hasn't been operational in a while. So if you're looking at an upgrade there, as well as probably some backstop fencing. I'm not sure that the current setup maybe meets compliance with current high school regulations, et cetera. So we'd have to explore that. So that's kind of the second bucket, which is infrastructure. Third bucket is fan experience. We love the shade over the stands that are there, but we'd really be looking at additional seating, what that would look like. Is it a setup like at the Saul Ross Field where you have more seating back behind the home plate? We're not sure. We'd have to look at some different things there and look at what that might cost. This might be a multi-year, multi-phase project, right? We may not be able to do everything we'd like to do all at once, but we really do feel like working together and working with softball interested folks in the community, there's a lot we could do to help improve this field for our kids and for our community. At the bottom, I've listed some potential partners and funding sources. The school district would be coming to this proposal both with helping to coordinate, but also with some potential funding sources. So that could look like a fund balance allocation potentially. It could look like a facilities loan that is not a bond. So we're not talking about an increased tax rate that we're going to taxpayers for. We'd be looking at other mechanisms. Also fundraising and or labor. And so what we'd be looking to the city of Alpine to potentially partner with, these are ideas, but y'all would know much more about what would be possible. Would be potentially hotel occupancy tax funds, potentially from reserve. I think there was a conversation about that when the Hot Fund Committee met earlier this year, potentially partnering on labor as well. Other potential partners who I've put question marks beside only because I don't want to speak for them, but the Big Bend Amateur Softball Association could potentially help with fundraising and or support, also with labor. I know there's a lot of parents who like to get things done. And then we've had a lot of success within the school district with partnering with philanthropic organizations. Just last year, we coordinated a $600,000 investment in Alpine ISD, which helped fund brand new playgrounds at no cost to taxpayers. We'd be interested in trying to bring more philanthropic dollars to the community, especially if multiple organizations within the community are working together to improve the field. So that's a little bit about what we're proposing. Happy to take any questions, and then I can talk about the next steps as we see them.
Okay, Councilmember Portillo?
Thank you, Dr. Reinhardt. We've talked about this for a while too.
Yes, sir.
And finally that, thank you, city, everybody that's willing to listen to what's going on. This has been a problem for a while. And I'm glad that, we're all here to help out in anything you need. But thank you.
Yes.
Councilmember Martinez?
Thank you for being here. Thank you for updating us and know more about the park. This would be a project for Parks and Recreations, or it would be like supporting another nonprofit organization.
It would be collaborative.
collaborating.
You know, I think multiple people would be involved, like, Dr. Reinhardt alluded to. If there's gonna be
Uh-huh,
elements
I saw that.
involved, you know, we can look and see if, how we can pursue that. But certainly I asked Eddie to be here, the Director of Public Works, just to kind of chime in. I already talked to him preliminarily and he's on board with the idea.
Yeah.
And we'll call you up in just a minute.
How much,
all the other
how much
answers.
would be a good support from the city?
I really don't know yet, not trying to, be vague. I
Yeah.
think one of our next steps that we're proposing is to convene softball interested people from across the community. And really have people think about, within these 3 buckets, what would we like to see? And then what could we afford in each of those areas? Off the top of my head, I think all in, we'd be looking at least a couple $100,000 that we would be wanting to invest in this. I think we can do a lot for the field with that, but I really think that will come out of that meeting to look at what things might look like. That would not all obviously be city obligation, right?
Yeah, I know,
The
I know.
district's willing to come to the table with funds as well.
Yeah, we won't be able to give it all anyway. But so if the city support them, was a great idea. It would be in this budget or how do that will work, Jim?
We would have to do a budget amendment to,
Amendment.
going forward.
Okay, Councilmember Ruckus.
Appreciate you, seems like you're leading this, so thank you for that. And Rich, we've talked about this, it's definitely overdue. Growing up here, I've seen it and dealt with it, and then I have kids coming up too, and everybody else's kids, and I think our community should do it. We went to a TML conference and it seemed like every other city, their neighbors were doing something like this, and I think it'd be good for us to get it going.
Councilmember Escobedo.
I think this is a great idea, very well needed. It's something that's gonna keep our kids entertained and something that they need, and that is very, very important. Whether it's for our kids or my grandkids, we all need to get involved and put this together.
Councilmember Stevens.
So I'm wildly supportive. In my view, my sense is next step. I think one of the things we need to mutually talk about is what's the organizational structure? If it's gonna be collaborative, it's gotta be the school district, it's gotta be the city, it's gotta be the baseball association or whatever the league groups are. I'd almost put those representatives together and say, come back with an MOU. And I may be going, I always go on a limb anyway, but from a funding standpoint, I believe that we, the city and the school district, ought to say, here's the budget we give to you, management group. Go come back with a plan and a recommendation for it. Because in my view, that's the only way it's gonna happen. Because with the collaborative group, if the group who's responsible doesn't have any financial resources to go do it, it's gonna be dependent upon us and someone else, and that's just gonna slow the process down. And I see this as a first step to a bigger opportunity to collaborate on a lot more of our sports facilities that we have here that can really make a difference for the community. So I'm wildly supportive.
Okay, good. And Eddie, you want to come up next to Michelle?
Mayor, do you want, call the brush, call the roll?
Yeah. And the receptionist.
Yes, so I talked to Will the other day, he approached me with that. I think it's a win-win for the city and the school and for everybody involved. We have worked with this school in the past, but it wasn't anything proposed, wasn't, it wasn't proposed like that. We would just, they would work together, take care of the field, stuff like that, but no major improvements. I think we've ourselves been talking about that for a while now. We haven't just had the funds to do it. I think it would be a great idea to go ahead and work together. We've have some plans as far as sidewalks leading to the softball fields and everything in place that we're working already on, and making the parking lot a little more accessible to parking, stuff like that. So long story short, I think it is a good idea. We'll help obviously with what we can as far as the street department stuff, so.
Okay, great. Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Any questions for Eddie? Okay, just wait for one second with Michelle. Rush Carter, would you come on up? Anybody else here?
Rush Carter, current president of Big Bend Amateur Softball Association. Been utilizing those fields since my kids were little, and they're still doing them. This year, we had over 180 girls signed up to play softball. We utilized both fields. That's something I want to kind of throw in, is when we talk about that as a manual playing field, we want to make that a premier playing surface. There's also another field next to it that's international that gets used, T-ball, 8U games and all of that, which is in dire need of a lot of work also. So as we talk about a complex and being able to do tournaments and things like that, that's an important piece to have two playable fields. Doesn't have to be, we can make Manual Payne the place to be and have another field next to it that's suitable for all to play too. So huge piece. I was excited. You know, we talked about a lot of things over the years, and to have the city on board and the school district on board to be able to improve that complex and make it into something. It's such a unique place as it is right now, and it can be really special. It's going to attract a lot of people when we do turn that into having a few tournaments and things like that. Getting people here to Alpine, they love to come and enjoy the weather when it's hot everywhere else.
Yes.
So, I think we're very supportive of whatever we can get done is gonna be great.
Okay. Good, thank you. And any questions? for
So,
Rush?
just side note. I got to meet Rush, really get to know him this year. And he's did a lot of stuff on his own there at that field and put a lot of work in it to make it look, to make it playable and to look nice. I mean, it needs a lot of work still, but he did a lot of work to it and
Thank
just kind of want y'all to know that he did do a lot, you know? Thank
Great,
you, Rush.
thank you.
Lots of good volunteers in that association, and it's such a neat deal to see these girls. So we are the beginning of what ends up with the high school program. So the more girls we have interested in playing softball, then the better we're gonna do, you know, when we turn them over to the coaches in the high school level and see success for Alpine
Right.
and things like that. So, and it's a great sport, great experience for our girls to teach them life skills. And that's the number one thing we're doing.
Yes.
Is teaching them how to compete, teamwork, personal, all of those things. It's a great sport for them to learn that. So
Great.
I've got $3.
All right, thank
All right,
you.
thank you.
Okay, Louisa, you want to come up?
Sure.
We-
Cynthia, you want to come up?
Yeah.
Well, yeah, we'll come up together. Okay, and just introduce yourself, Louisa, so they know who
Okay.
you are on the
Louisa
YouTube video.
Payne. My daughter Cynthia Payne.
And the field's named after your late husband.
Yes, after my late husband's, he passed in 2017. 2014, I'm sorry. Yes. Okay, so we've been looking at this. And is it my understanding that the softball will be playing here instead of
The Solos.
the Soros? Okay. So that's a good idea. That's very good to have all those bleachers in place and all that. However, I think my family and I were really concerned about this. The way the sign is set up at the field. But I'm not sure if that's a different agenda or I need to come back.
You mean the sign in the picture that says Manuel B. Payne
Well,
Field?
where it's placed.
Oh,
I believe a lot of people from out of town do not know where the field is, and I think it would be ideal to have it at the entrance. Something not real big, but you know, to the side of the entrance maybe,
mhm.
or what do you think?
I know we talked, Miss Cynthia Payne shared with me about, that might be part of the project proposal. Is maybe having one of our welding classes or whatnot build like a bigger, more prominent sign that could be put, you know, somewhere near the field or near
That's-
the entrance or whatnot,
Uh-huh.
building that in. So when you think about these buckets, right? Like it's not all just playing surface, it's not all just infrastructure. Some of the parts are about fan experience and really just commemorating the field. And I think y'all shared with me as well that we're coming up on the 30th anniversary of the dedication of the field in April, correct?
Yes,
So we're hoping potentially to be able to maybe do phase 1 ahead of that date and maybe do a
Yeah.
rededication then.
Oh, that would be
Yes, it
great.
was in 96, and I'm going, a new scoreboard, yay.
Uh-huh.
But his name is at the bottom.
Uh-huh.
Okay. I'd like to have his name maybe, and I don't know if that's a different agenda, maybe up higher,
More prominently displayed on. the
so they
scoreboard.
could, so people could see
Right,
and say, oh, this is a field and not international.
right, right.
This now,
Okay.
and,
I just wanted to add, I'm Cynthia Payne, I'm his daughter. And to see the field from day one when it was dedicated to him to now. And the improvements it has gone through. And like Dr. Reinhardt stated, you know, we're trying to get more improvements on it. It may not be tomorrow, it may not be next week. We know it possibly is coming to get more improvements on this field. To keep our kids playing, and he always wanted the kids to play.
Right.
He didn't want them out on the streets. He didn't want them getting in trouble. He just wanted them to play this great game of softball and baseball. He took so much pride in it, volunteered, coached for about almost 30 years. I've been in it almost 20 years, learned from him. Still doing it. I know right now he's smiling, smiling ear to ear. He's smiling big time, and he's saying he's happy. He's proud to get this going. Hopefully we can get it going. Thank you all.
Okay, thank you.
Thank
Thank you
you.
very much. Okay, anything else, council?
So Dr. Reinhardt, really quick, I know we're looking at, you mentioned dirt, grass and all that. We also by any chance look at turf in the thing. So I know, years ago, when I moved back, I kind of made a proposal or talked to Jessica Garcia at the time, brought that up about turfing these fields, right? She goes, well, you know how expensive that is. I go, I get it. Yes, I do, but there's zero maintenance. I go, because right now, you know, there's not really a whole lot of maintenance going on. So you're gonna eliminate that. Yes, you put a fence around it, you know, lock it up so that, you know, I walk there on the weekends and see dogs out on the little league fields, on the softball fields. And I've made calls, Rush, you know, people that are into the baseball, like, hey, you know, gotta keep these dogs out of here, you know, you're trying to maintain this thing, make it nice, but that's something maybe to look at.
Right.
Cause I know it is expensive. I mean, I've looked into it.
Right.
But maintenance wise, it's zero.
I know you've looked into it. Would you please let him?
Sure,
Mm,
so
let us
I
know.
think that both that I see coming out of that kind of next meeting that we're hoping to have just in 2 to 3 weeks. Kind of 2 different proposals coming out, one if it remains a grass field, and then one if we did decide, again, multiple organizations kind of at play here. To go with the turf approach. Turf approach will give us at least 10 years of life. Buck Stadium has the turf there has a 10-year lifespan, and we're on year 14. So can make it stretch sometimes. So you're right, they're much more expensive. So then we're looking at, instead of potentially 200,000, maybe we're up over 700,000. But again, some of the funding mechanisms we talked about are instead of that being entirely cash based, maybe that's a facilities loan over 10 years, which is what we're looking at for Buck Stadium turf, right? To make that more manageable and affordable over time. And so maybe we end up in that space. So I don't think it's off the table. I think what will kind of happen is there'll be 2 different proposals for folks to kind of think about the pros and cons of each, because one of the challenges on the other side of upgrades is the continued maintenance, and where does that come from, and the labor power and all of that as well. And so there are advantages on the turf side if we go that route. I imagine that folks who are much more knowledgeable about softball will have some insights to share with us about which way they would prefer, and what the high school and middle school would prefer, what youth softball might prefer, et cetera. So really that's our goal coming out of that next meeting, to be able to bring back some more proposals to y'all, and then put some numbers to them and kind of quantify some of it.
And you ever thought about talking to the county?
It's a great question.
because I have spoke to Judge Henningsen about it. He's on board. He'd be willing to help out. He's been talking about this. His granddaughter played at Texas A&M. And someone to get maybe talk to, and
Perfect. Reach out to him.
that would help out also.
Yeah,
You know,
we have another
I
entity.
bring it
money.
up $2,000 into the income.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, so, yeah, great. Help.
Happy to.
So
Anything else, council?
what's next?
So next is later in September. I don't have the exact date with me, but it'll be a Monday, 2 to 3 weeks from now, and we'll share it out. We'll happy to send it to y'all and for dissemination as well. We're going to convene likely at Alpine High School, open meeting, anyone in the community who would like to come together and kind of dig in deeper to specifics here. What would you like to see as the number one or the upgrades we make to playing surface, to infrastructure, to fan experience? I think Ms. Payne shared some great examples too of different stakeholders, right? Have different things that they would love to see, and it would be wonderful to have all of those suggestions kind of incorporated into the plan. The goal of that meeting is to come up with ideally what would we like it to look like over time, and then to phase that. What if we only had $200,000 for the project? What would we do? What if we could raise 400,000? What would we do? And kind of sequence it in that capacity. Again, we'd like to have at least phase one done by the spring. That might not be turf in phase one, but there could be other upgrades that exist in phase one that we could get done by then. So our goal is to have that meeting, come back to future meeting with y'all with a proposal that comes from that. Look at other potential partners, et cetera, and try to get some things going by, mid-October.
So how do you see this being managed? That's what I raised earlier.
Sure. So happy to chat more about that, outside of the meeting as well, about what those structures might look like. I don't know if on the timeline we're looking to do that, if we'd be able to form a separate entity to coordinate that, or if instead, even just for the first year, it would be some kind of interlocal agreement or MOU between the city and between the school district, basically saying, hey, we're willing to commit this much funding. Y'all are willing to commit X amount of funding. We agree to, making all this up on the spot, y'all, but like, we agree to,
This much
allow
labor.
joint access for X number of years. I think really it's about protecting the interests of both groups so that there's continued access, in years beyond the immediate funding infusion or whatnot. So I think realistically in the first year, it would be something that the two organizations would kind of run point on while trying to figure out what another kind of entity might look like.
Yeah, and the reason I raise it, I think about the tenure of council. We're 3-year terms, most two terms, 6 years we rotate out. Having an MOU, LOA, whatever you want to call it, says, here's our vision. Here's where we are, here's how the next step. So that future councils, along with whoever's from the school perspective, are lined up. We're following a plan as opposed to, oh, now we're trying to reinvent the wheel every 3 years.
Correct.
Which is what I'm.
And I think that kind of lines up with if we're looking at longer term funding, such as a 10-year loan, then we would be looking at an MOU or ILA that goes along with that, so that we don't end up with no use of the field, but still paying for it years afterwards or whatnot.
So, I mean, there might be a model in terms of what we do with the Alpine Emergency Services.
Another example too is we have a 10-year lease with Sul Ross State University for Coconut Field.
Yep.
And so we have different instances of these that we've been able to negotiate over time.
Super good. Thanks.
Anything else?
Thank you, Dr.
Thank
Okay,
you.
thank you.
Appreciate it.
Thank you very much. Thank you, everybody. All right. Okay, moving on. Let's see, okay, discussion item C. This one belongs to city manager.
Thank you, Mayor. Item C is discuss the proposed resolution adopting the power pedestal rental policy and agreement. Establishing rental fees, providing for fee waiver to city sponsored events, requiring the release of liability, providing for damages recovery, providing for reduced nonprofit rates. Authorizing the city manager to administer and implement the policy and providing an effective date. So this item, we just have identified the needs for a policy for our power pedestal. Essentially, in the past, we've never actually had a specific way of doing things. We've never had an actual policy. So some city managers have allowed it, some city managers haven't. More recently, the rule was only for hot funded events or city sponsored events. But I talked with Eddie, the Director of Public Works, and we both agreed that it would benefit the city to have an actual policy, so we could have some guidance on when we cannot rent those out. Not only that, but recover costs, minimal costs that it takes to set them up for events and whatnot. We recently allowed Skelton Runway to use them for that large event they had because they were in a pinch and they really needed assistance. And we really wanted to get this on the table just to kind of nip it in the bud and make sure that it's fair across the board going forward.
Right, so you're suggesting $50 per event.
Yes, it's a nominal fee, $50 per event, $50 deposit. If it's a nonprofit, there's $25 with proof of nonprofit status. I did include a waiver for the city manager to be able to waive fees, but I mean, that, we could remove that if you think it'd be easier. It's just, there's always case by case basis. Other instances, of course, if it was hot funded, we would allow that as well, and then that would be a waiver. And just some standard release of liability and a standard agreement just to kind of go along with that. I know it's a lot of moving parts, so I just wanted to kind of get it in front of you all and see if you had any recommendations, or if you even wanted to proceed with it before actually getting it proposed in front of you all.
Councilmember Lucas?
I think it's a good idea, honestly. The $50, I think, would be just fine. It's gonna add up and be able to replace those things. Keep them up. And maybe get more, so we can get bigger events or do multiple events at one time as well would be a good idea. So. And the waivers are good.
Yeah.
I don't know about city manager waiver, so.
We can remove it, it's easier. I mean,
Like the nonprofit or the hot tax, I think is a good idea, but just a city manager waiver to use as their own discretion.
okay, I can remove that.
I agree.
I think it's easier that way as well.
Councilmember Escobedo?
I agree with Rob. It's a very good idea. And then taking away the city manager waiver. I mean, because we want to kind of bring that money in and produce more. And then maintain the other ones,
Right.
or maintain them as we need to.
Councilmember Stevens?
I'm good with what they just talked about. I'm bringing forward as an ordinance.
Yeah.
Okay.
Councilmember Portillo?
Yeah, so, yeah, I'm good with it all. The question I got is, and I know this is pretty vague, just something really quick that you put out. So liability wise, I'm speaking as a electrician, my end. Say you rent these out to somebody. Is the city liable if somebody doesn't hook it up right, something happens?
Well, in the proposed agreement, I did include a release of liability, and you have our attorney Cynthia on the line. She could speak to that further, but I'm fairly sure that it would cover us.
Okay, well, I'm just making sure that we are gonna get covered on something like that,
Cynthia?
So yes, Mayor, the waiver of liability within the agreement would provide those protections. And of course, the city always has its general governmental immunities available to it for those types of claims.
Good point. Spoken from an electrician.
Earlier, and I was like,
Councilmember Martinez?
I think it's a great idea. These $50 will be for event or for day?
Per event.
Per event is
Per
what we
event.
have it set right now. And we've just received, like I said, numerous requests, and no one ever really knows officially what is acceptable or not. This policy would just let us know, give us some guidance when it's acceptable and when it's not. And provide a mechanism that if somebody private wants to use it, we can do that. So,
Yeah, because I remember 1 year, we didn't have funds for the Catholic Church. And they told us that we cannot use it because the city didn't organize. So we had to build our own for that event and last minute.
right.
So.
Are you renting them out?
And Eddie, you're on board.
Oh, yeah, they installed perfectly. So they go and put everything in place so we don't have to worry about it. So that's what I know that is a good idea.
All right, anything else, council? No.
So does that mean that we would get also remove number 4?
Number 4. What page are you looking?
The last page, 37 of 109, where it says the city manager may approve fee waivers. So we want
Yes.
that off. Make minor administrative adjustments. Just ensure compliance.
And 2?
Something one.
So what page, I'm sorry?
It's 37 of 109. So that second bullet on number 2.
Okay, I'll remove number 4.
Well, number 4, we do want the city manager to make sure it is in compliance with applicable laws. So leave that part on number 4.
You're talking about section 4, right? Oh. Waivers.
So this one.
Okay, so that's on the cover page, right?
Right, on the
On
cover page.
actual resolution.
Oh.
It's on.
No, on the cover page. Yeah. Sorry. Yeah.
No problem. So I'm just gonna remove section 4 as far as, if that's on page 40 of 109 off the resolution, and that should take care of it. And I will, review the exhibits and just make sure that it's moved as well.
All right, but you're keeping the city manager to make sure it's in compliance with applicable laws.
Yes.
Okay. All right, good. All right, we look forward to seeing that. And with that, it's been an hour, so we're gonna take a 5-minute break before we hit item D. Okay? And there we go. Okay, we're ready. All right, and we are back to action item D, Skyway Gardens, City Manager.
Thank you, Mayor. The next item is to discuss the Skyway Gardens 2 development, including concerns with the water pressure and the feasibility study conducted by Jacob and Mark.
Great.
So this one is just being put forward as an information and discussion item just to get the issue back on our radar. When the Skyway 2 Gardens 2 development was proposed, the council was advised of the water pressure issues that we're having in that area around at the time. They told the developers, go ahead and proceed with the development. We'll annex you. We'll conduct a feasibility study. I have included Jacob and Martin's comments in your packet, so you're kind of aware of what we're looking at. But now that the developments are underway, we have to really start being mindful and kind of determine the plan moving forward to make those improvements to ensure that, you know, we can provide adequate service in that area.
So we don't have a representative from Jacob Martin here.
We do not. They did provide, like I said, the reports, and we just need to kind of have that discussion to make sure that it's fresh on our mind going forward, and that we're gonna actively try to resolve that. And then Jessica Isley, the building official, is actually the one who requested we talk about it. She wasn't aware of the documents or, you know, or the feasibility study and whatnot, so she was happy to find out that we already had a plan. But we're just kind of, I just want to bring it up to make sure that we keep it at our forefront and make sure that we start planning for it.
Okay. So we'll just start with Councilmember Stevens. And we have Mike Macias here from the Water Department. Now, I know Mike's new, so he may not be familiar.
Around today. You've been digging around today.
He may not be familiar with it. I'm not sure. Mike, are you able to speak on any of it?
Yes.
Okay. Maybe we'll have you speak and then we'll go down the road. Yeah. I know.
Yeah.
Poor guy.
Good evening, everybody. You're right, Mayor. I don't know too much, but let me just give you, I'm pretty sure y'all are well aware of what's going on. The previous years, just the rumors and the rumor mill, what I do understand is that there's low pressure, obviously, right? We don't know that there's any pressure. I know, Mr. Andrew Devaney.
Yes.
I can't remember. He was up at the city for a while. He was an interim utility director, and he did a test and it failed. He did a test for the TCQ and it barely passed. I misinformed. It barely passed as far as with pressure. I also know, Rob, when you were with the city, you did the fire hydrant test with the former utility director, Johnny Marquez. And
it failed.
It failed, right? It did. So the utility review failed before the plans were submitted, and nobody stopped the permitting process because the previous city manager said it was already approved by council. So that's where we're at. I don't have an active solution. I hate to come up here because it makes it seem like I'm throwing more problems. If I had a solution, I would know. I don't know what to. I don't have an active solution anymore. And unfortunately, that's all I know at the moment. Can't be too much of assistance there. So.
Look, I do think that it would be best to maybe invite somebody from Jacob and Martin to our water workshop. I just kind of wanted to get the issue out in front of you all and.
See, I thought they'd be here this evening and.
No, it's
No.
really just a discussion item.
Okay.
I could invite them to speak on it more. I mean, in their presentation that they gave in October of 2024, they did, you know, put that it's not currently feasible to serve from the lower hill tank due to pressure and elevation. Larger area of concern in lower hill pressure plane. And the solution was to realign lower hill and slow off pressure planes to increase pressures in that area.
No, I don't know if we'd be able to bring a third party, but since we wouldn't be able to, we don't have time to do that, but of course that would have to. That takes money,
Yes.
so I don't know if it'd be something we could look into, if it's feasible to reroute. I don't know.
Okay, well, the feeling I have is that we need somebody from Jacob Martin to speak at the water workshop, which, just to repeat it, it's October the 7th at 4 p.m. And then council will have a better sense of what we're looking at. And if you'd be able to attend that meeting, that would be great. So I think we're looking at a substantial amount of money is what it sounds like. Thoughts, council?
You can start with me.
So, yeah, Jacob Martin was before this council last October. We listened to the presentation that's in here. And I too had thought they would have been here because they gave us a number of alternatives. And this is where I had expected it would be part of the water budget in terms of what that was gonna be, what the alternatives were. Which is why I want to make sure we have a workshop. Frankly, I don't think an hour is gonna be enough to hear from Jacob and Martin and us work our way through the budget. I think it's an important part to have Jacob and Martin here. But I hope when we ask them to be here, not only do they give us what the issue is, what the alternatives are, but what they estimate the cost is for
Right.
that. Because I think that's gonna be a critical element for us sorting through what the water budget's gonna be for this next year. And then we're gonna have to make some decisions about how we fund it. So that's my point. And then
So can we have them here, Gio, for the workshop, but also put them on as a discussion item? Since it's probably gonna take more than an
I
hour.
think it's gonna take more than an hour. Sure. Yeah.
Yeah, for the same evening. Okay. Any other thoughts, council? Okay. All right. Thank you, Mike. Appreciate everything you do. We can tell you're working hard.
We're playing hard.
One of the two. Thank you. All right, so that moves us into action items. First action item belongs to city manager.
Thank you, Mayor. Item A is approved resolution 2025-09-01. A resolution continuing collaborative improvement efforts for 2025 to 2026 between the city of Alpine and the Alpine Country Club to accompany the 2016 lease.
I need a motion.
They are moving to approve resolution 2025-09-01 as presented.
I need a second.
Second.
All right, discussion, start with city manager.
Thank you, Mayor. Annually, we do have collaborative improvements that are approved by council, and the improvements or the collaborative efforts rather, are usually a discounted water rate for our effluent water. This lease does fully expire in 2026 in June, so we will need to look at renegotiating that lease in the coming months, but annually, we just get this in front of the council and they usually discuss it and decide how we want to move forward, and it's typically gonna be at a reduced water rate for the effluent water.
So where are we at with influent water for them?
You know, I'm not too sure if, I know that we were having some issues previously. I know that they got better and I believe that we're still providing it to them, but I haven't had any updates.
Okay. Okay, great. All right, Councilmember Portillo,
No, ma'am, no comment.
Councilmember Lucas,
I'm in favor of it. I do know that, and I guess this kind of goes towards wastewater, but Rick and I have talked about it. For me, I would believe getting uninterrupted effluent supply, because I think if I remember correctly, when they were here last year, we were having issues getting them effluent. And I know it's a hit or a miss, especially with the condition of our clarifiers. Thankfully, we're getting one, but maybe this council, if we even can, after we fix our issues with pressure for Skyway Garden, look at going out for another grant or some kind of funding for our second clarifier, so we're not shooting ourselves in the foot, allowing it to go to the wayside, and then we only have one good one. This is one that we're putting in. Hopefully sometime this month, and keep both of them up and running so we can continue to supply them with effluent, so they can have good flushes, green grass. We can bring in hot funds and everything. People using it in tournaments, and they'll know the whole gist. So
Councilmember Martinez.
I'm agreed to renew the contract because it expire next year, sure. And so, I don't know if that included money involved or just what included the renewal of the contract with them working together. How do we support them?
So we basically lease the land to them because we own that land and they
Okay.
own the building. And essentially, I mean, the council can determine how they want the lease going forward, but if I'm not mistaken, I don't think they pay much of anything. Yearly, like annually, maybe $1, if I can recall correctly. I mean, but it's gonna be up to y'all in closer towards June to determine what you want that to look like. But it is definitely a big benefit to our community, and
Oh, yeah, and they really take care of it.
also why we started the collaborative efforts to provide them the effluent when it is available. I'm not sure that it is available at the moment, I think it is. But should it be, this resolution would allow us to provide that discount.
I'm totally in favor of this.
Councilmember Escobedo.
Oh, I'm in favor of this, definitely. It does bring a lot of visitors all the time. I mean, it's just constant. You see it on social media all the time. We definitely.
Okay, Councilmember Stevens.
Yeah, thanks, Mayor. So I was around in city council in 2016 when this lease was put together as part of Ward 5. So I've been involved with them quite a bit. It's $2 paid upfront at the beginning of the year, so it's a huge cash flow. But I would observe over the period of this lease, the country club board has really gotten much more responsive. And he's done a terrific job on this. So in my view, this is the right thing to go do. I'm with Gio. Come next June, we ought to sit down and look at what the long-term plan is and how they see it from a long-term standpoint. But they've done a nice job with it and they're maintaining it. So I'm continue to be supportive of it. And that was one of the important requirements we have to remember for next year. It's an annual renewal. As opposed to it's blanket for 10 years. That's one of the requirements we changed last time was every year we get a chance to renew it. If we're not satisfied, we can push back. That's different than other contracts we have where we're kind of stuck for 10 years. So we just have to remember that for the next time around when we negotiate, but I support it.
Okay. All right, anything else, council? Let's vote.
Aye.
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 City Secretary, council voted unanimously to approve resolution 2025-09-01. Okay, moving on to action item B, city manager.
Thank you, Mayor. Item B is approved resolution 2025-09-02, a resolution nominating a representative to the City of Alpine Solid Waste Advisory Committee vacancy through the Rio Grande Council of Governments for a membership term of 2 years from fiscal year 2026 to 2027.
I need a motion.
I move we approve resolution 2025-09-02 that formally nominates Adelina Beal as the City of Alpine's representative.
I need a second. Okay, any discussion on the amendment? Okay, let's vote on the amendment to elect Adelina Beal.
Aye.
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 City Secretary Council unanimously approved resolution 2025-09-02 with the amendment that it will be Adelina Beal who will be the representative for the City of Alpine. Now let's dispose of the original motion as amended.
Aye.
Okay, and city manager, council, city secretary. Council has unanimously disposed of the original motion and have the amended one in place. All right, moving on to action item C, city manager, it's yours.
Thank you, Mayor. Item C is approved resolution 2025-09-03, a resolution nominating a City of Alpine representative to the Brewster County Appraisal District Board of Directors.
I need a motion.
Mayor, I move that we approve resolution 2025-09-3, nominating City of Alpine representative to the Brewster County Appraisal District Board and implementing an amendment.
And what was the last?
We'll need an amendment because there's no name in there right now. So I make the motion.
Okay, I need a second. Okay, discussion, city manager.
Thank you, Mayor. So there is a vacancy on the Brewster County Appraisal District Board of Directors due to former council member Darren Nance resigning after he was no longer on city council. Following essentially the vacancy procedures provide that the city puts forward a nomination and the board votes on that nomination. But essentially it would be for a very short term, just to fill the unexpired term, and then we would actually appoint somebody to be on the board of directors during the normal process. So it is ideal for them if we nominate somebody who we want to appoint in the near future whenever the appointment time comes up.
Can
Maybe
you tell
that-
us what the hours are and the day so that council can consider that?
Yeah, you know about this.
I can tell you, I used to be the chair. It's once a month. It tends to be an hour to an hour and a half meeting. I actually asked Darren if he'd be fully concerned to stay on, because I think he's been terrific. He said no. So we have to put some.
Is this evening, morning, lunchtime? What is it?
Yeah, it's 11:05.
Okay, okay, so Councilmember Martinez,
I mentioned to you that I would be interested into that position.
Oh, good.
no, I know. I thought it was gonna be a problem finding somebody.
No, it's a very interesting position, from the board standpoint. Yeah, lots to learn. It'd be great.
So it would be from now to December only, or?
I was there for about, I went in there for some personal stuff and I was pulled in and it's interesting. I mean, I learned a lot of the questions that I had been wondering about. And it's not easy, but it's very interesting.
Nothing is easy, but
So, Gio, or Councilmember Stevens, she would expect to attend October, November.
December. Yeah.
Okay. All right, Councilmember Escobedo,
I nominate Rick. He's been there before and he knows it very well.
Council-
Actions. Eva wants to do it.
let her do it.
Let her do it.
Councilmember Stevens,
I nominate Eva.
okay, Councilmember Portillo,
Thanks.
I say that.
Councilmember Lucas.
Oh, there we go.
Okay, so I need an amendment, please.
So I make the motion, the amendment to the motion of that Eva fill the role to be the City of Alpine representative for Brewster County Prison Tax Board.
I need a second.
I say, go ahead.
Any discussion on that? Let's vote.
Aye.
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 Excellent. City Secretary, Council has unanimously approved Resolution 2025-09-03 with the amendment that Eva will be our City of Alpine representative to the Brewster County Appraisal Board. Now we need to dispose of the original motion.
Aye.
Aye.
City Secretary, Council
Your-
disposed of the original motion.
You Medina.
So Eva, I'm happy to help you get spun up on it.
Okay.
Okay,
thank you.
yeah.
Because I'm waiting it all help that I can.
Yeah.
Maybe in January you can take over.
The key is, it's a common sense board. So they have a lot of technical requirements to go through, but common sense wins the day every day. And you got lots, but.
Okay, moving on to action item D, Councilmember Stevens.
Myself down here.
D.
Oh, yes, thank you very much. Thank you, Mayor. So this is a follow-up to the discussion we had about authorizing the allocation of the city-owned shipping container to the Alpine Emergency Services Board for use, as well as the fire training and granting access for them to use the burn house, which is actually real property. Geo has been working back and forth with Cynthia. And I've been part of that process, and the purpose behind this resolution.
Wait, we need a motion.
Oh, need a motion. Okay, so I wanted to give a little background. So I propose that we approve resolution 2025-09-04, authorizing the allocation of the city-owned shipping container, the Alpine Emergency Service Board, for use in firefighting training and granting access to the city-owned fire training facility burn house and real property near the wastewater treatment plant to the management of the Alpine Emergency Services Board.
I second.
Good. Okay, now discussion. Go
Thank you
ahead and
very much.
elaborate.
So we talked about all this, again, thanks to Gio and Cynthia for working our way through this resolution. There is more work that's required to implement it from an agreement standpoint. But my view is the intent behind this is to implement this. Part of the discussion that Gio and I had as part of this dialogue is, should we make this as part of the specific resolution, say, Gio, go do your thing, or ask that it be included in the emergency services board agreement that we have with Brewster County? And that was a question, Gio, I think we're gonna ask Cynthia in this meeting, correct?
Yes, and she's available to discuss.
So,
Okay, Cynthia.
which makes sense. approve the resolution or incorporate it within the existing Alpine Emergency Services Board agreement?
I would say approve the resolution, because one, we do want to track anytime y'all, allocate resources to the board. And then two, the agreement, for the real property is just so that we have an agreement in place that outlines, yes, they are authorized the use of that facility. And either way, y'all can do that piece, either an amendment to the interlocal, or a separate, access and use agreement, that the board will control, access to it. They'll set up the rules for use of it. They'll do their thing, as the board. So either way works. We just have to make sure that we get it papered, for use of the actual real property.
So the process approved the resolution that in my view is we allow our city manager to go over that.
Yes, Gio.
All yours.
Yeah, okay.
Okay.
All right, let's see who's next. Okay, so Councilmember Stevens, Councilmember Ruckus,
Good with it.
Councilmember Portillo,
Good with it.
Councilmember Martinez,
Of course, I already told them that it was theirs.
Councilmember Escobedo.
I'm in agreement.
Okay, so let's vote on resolution 2025-09-04.
Aye.
Aye.
City Secretary Council unanimously approved resolution 2025-09-04 to authorize the allocation of the city-owned shipping container and the firefighter training ground, in other words, the burn house, to the Alpine Emergency Services Board. Excellent. All right, moving on to action item E, City Manager.
Thank you, Mayor. Item E is renew the Director of Tourism contract for a one-year term.
I need a motion.
So Mayor, I propose that we renew the Director of Tourism contract for a one-year term, including a 5% increase.
Okay, I need a second.
Second.
Okay, discussion. So that was an amendment with the 5% increase added to the term. Councilmember Ruckus.
Chris, you do an amazing job, so I'm in complete support of it, and then we're giving everybody else their COA and merit raises, so I have no problem with the 5% whatsoever at all. That's where I'm at.
Okay, Councilmember Stevens,
Good.
Councilmember Portillo,
Like Rob said, thanks, Chris. All aboard.
Councilmember Escobedo,
I'm in agreement.
Councilmember Martinez.
Of course, then. He's doing an excellent job and he's very helpful with every single issue. Thank you for all what you do.
Yes, thank you very much. Okay, so let's vote.
Aye.
City Secretary Council voted unanimously on the amendment to renew the Director of Tourism contract for 1 year with a 5% increase. Now we need to dispose of the original motion.
Aye.
Aye.
Okay, and we disposed of the original motion. It was amended. Excellent. Okay, that takes care of action items. Moving on to executive reports. City Mayor report. So in the city mayor report, I just want to mention that some residents in Country Club Estates have reached out to me. And I'm hoping the city manager and his report will be able to give us an update on what's going on with the streets and also high grasses is what they have mentioned. And that's it for my mayor report. City manager, I turn it over to you for your report.
Okay, thank you, Mayor. I don't have too much to report on this evening. We have been busy with the city manager search. As you all know, I was out of town for a legislative update seminar, went really well. And we had tried to power through all those interviews to get you some recommendations tonight, which we will talk about this evening. In regards to Country Club Estates, I did ask Eddie about that and he did report that that had been completed earlier today.
Good.
So let me know if anything's outstanding, but I believe that is already done, thankfully.
How far up did that go?
I'm not too sure, but I did ask him to target the high weeds because Councilor Stevens reported that to me.
Uh-huh.
So I forwarded that over to Eddie and I just asked him where we're at today and he said that they got done today. So let
Okay.
me know if anything needs more attention, but I believe we should be good there.
Okay.
Yeah,
So members of Country Club Estates, reach out to us if you need to.
Yeah, no, it's from the board. They go all the way up to the end, up to Kennewas, how they work it, feel all the way back down.
And they loved you.
I'm sorry.
And they loved you.
Oh, well, no, I get a lot of maxed emails from every bunch of states. I hate to say, I'm on the distribution list, so it's part of the emails I get. Yeah. So they've claimed I've ignored them, so at least one of the residents.
Oh,
Okay, Councilmember Escobedo. Councilmember Lucas. Councilmember Martinez.
Well, I'm going to that TML meeting on this on Friday. And Gio is going to make me a long list of things to brag in Alpine because we have a lot of things to brag.
Brag.
Yes, I was unprepared last time.
Yeah.
And
taking a vote?
huh?
You're taking a vote?
Oh, okay. See. So, yeah, I wanted to be a good representation about myself. We have a lot of things to brag. It's just I was unprepared. So, but now we are prepared.
Okay, good. And Councilmember Portillo in regards to the city manager's report. Okay, so
So I presume there's more.
There's not too much more. I mean, we have the utility billing software launch. We're actively working on that. We have had staff trainings. We had one this morning for the utility technicians and we're still planning a town hall. So we are looking forward to that. It should be the week of September 15th, I believe.
so that's the date I had, September 15th.
There you go. That probably was it. That's the week that we are planning on having it. I just need to finalize that date with Carmen. I can surely send that by email as soon as we finalize the date.
Okay.
Other than that, we did do
Software town hall.
a request for proposals for our retail electric provider. We have that live right now, so we're actively, working on that because ours is expired soon. And that's really about all I have for y'all.
What was the time for this town hall?
I need to finalize that date
Okay.
with Carmen, and then I can send that to you all by
Send
email.
it to us. Okay.
Thank you.
Councilmember Stevens.
Zinder stamps.
We're still on point to receive it mid-September, so hopefully the next couple of weeks.
Okay, great. Thank you.
Okay, good. And legislative update.
So
Anything
that
new we
went
need to
really
know?
well. I think that we were already aware of a number of the important ones. There was some new items that came up that I need to get with Cynthia about. Cause it's just really, how Texas law can be. It's very ambiguous, so I'm not sure it will affect us. And even if it does, it's not gonna affect us much. But that was basically one about collecting beverage occupancy tax from restaurants. So I have some questions on that, and I'll get with her on that. There's just a number of different updates that impacted public information, but nothing that should impact us too much. There was one about council member access to information, basically about how they have the ability the governing body has the ability to obtain information and how you can implement the policy to kind of, I guess, kind of guide how that looks. But I don't think we really have a problem with that here, to be honest.
Right.
Yeah, there's, of course, the severance pay for the city manager that's capped down to 5 weeks or 20 weeks of base pay, actually. So you can only do 20 weeks for severance going forward, effective 9/1. There was some mobile food vendor regulation preemption. We don't regulate them here, and good thing, because we wouldn't be able to continue. Essentially, the state kind of took away most of our authority to regulate food trucks. Let's see what else we had.
No, we don't regulate.
There was this one was an interesting amendment. Essentially, HB 24 kind of got rid of the supermajority vote for planning and zoning. Yeah, so for a zoning change, it no longer triggers we need to basically relook at the ordinance because that requirement of needing a supermajority vote on a PNC denial, that's no longer a thing. State law preempts it. Council can now approve that by a simple majority vote. That was an interesting one as well.
And I'm sorry, what bill was that?
HB 24.
24, I thought. Okay, thank you.
Now, there's one about impact fees, but we don't have any impact fees set up here yet, but if we do, we would need to look at that one. And I mean, that's really all as far as the ones that stood out. There's quite a few other ones that barely, if at all, impacted us, so.
Good. All right, Councilmember Stevens?
So can you help a little bit more, because it's a revenue generator, on the beverage tax?
So essentially, the bill says that if a city, and this is where there was a lengthy discussion between all of us whenever it was being presented, because it says if the city collects a health permit from a restaurant, which we don't, that we cannot charge additional fees for the beverage, what we are allowed to by beverage tax. So my interpretation is that we can still continue to collect the beverage tax from restaurants because we don't charge a health permit fee. But there was people of the other opinion at the conference, so that's why I need to ask to review what we have in place and whether or not we can continue collecting those beverage occupancy tax from restaurants.
Do we know how much that is for how much?
It's really not that much, because most of the restaurants, you know, the ones that would affect us the most are the mixed beverage, because those are the most expensive.
Yeah.
But most of the restaurants have only the general one where they can only sell beer and wine and collect like $87 a year. I don't think that will impact. Thank you.
Okay.
Thanks, Mayor.
All right, good. All right, so moving on to city council member comments. Councilmember Portillo,
Come in.
Councilmember Martinez,
I want to thank you for coming and be patient with us and listen to us. Thank you, Chief, for all your support and advices. You, thank you. You are doing an excellent job. Thank you so much for all what you do. And one last thing, I'm going to represent the city on September 11th. The Mexican consul and presidio invite us to have a celebration on the independence that they have. And I'm going to represent the city to that event.
good deal, yay. Okay, Councilmember Portillo. Oh, sorry, Councilmember Rivas. I'm going the wrong way. Yeah, the wrong way. Councilmember Escobedo. Councilmember Stevens. Okay, great. All right, so that brings us to item number 15, executive session. Pursuant to chapter 551 of the Texas Government Code, the city council reserves the right to convene into executive session from time to time as deemed necessary during this meeting for any posted agenda item or to receive advice from the attorney as permitted by law. Tonight, the city council will recess into executive session pursuant to section 551.071 consultation with attorney and 551.074 personnel matters. May I have a motion to convene into executive session? I need a second.
Second.
Discussion. Let's vote.
Aye.
Aye.
City Secretary Council voted unanimously to recess into executive session at 7:09 PM. With that, we're moving into executive session. Good night. May I have a motion to reconvene into open session? May I have a second?
Second.
Any discussion? Let's vote.
Aye.
Aye.
City Secretary Council voted unanimously to reconvene into open session at 8:22 PM. Okay, do I have a motion for action after session?
Mayor, I move that city council take no action after executive session.
I need a second.
Second.
Any discussion? Let's vote.
Aye.
Aye.
City Secretary Council has taken no action after executive session. And with that, we are adjourned. Yay, thank you guys. No,
Thank
thank
you.
you.